back to me, at least me and my players get to enjoy some of it.
You know, Coach, one of the things that as I've been doing a deep dive into collegiate sports and how it's funded, right? Most athletic departments operate in a deficit, right? Yeah. I want to say a guy said of the 60 Division I public schools that have to publicly file, and this is when I say Division I, maybe FBS. Let's use FBS schools. 37 of them lose money in athletics, and it's only 60 of them that have to file public reports because 60 of them are state schools. Right. The other 117 are private schools, right? So they don't have to open their books and let anybody know whether they're making or losing money. So 37 of them are losing money. So here's the conundrum, though. I would like football and men's basketball to be taken out of that budget, because if you just evaluate those two sports, those are not the sports that are losing money. Because guess what? Football, most of those schools, 60 to 70% of the revenue comes from football. Most athletic departments, 60 to 70%. Then there's another 20% that comes from men's basketball. 4 to 5% comes from women's basketball. And then the rest of the 6% comes from all of the other sports. And I like to call those sports welfare sports. Yeah, I'm saying this to you, Coach, and how you kind of just when you were essentially the cash cow supporting all of the other sports, the Olympic sports, as well as many other, Title IX sports or whatever. Is that overburdening the football program in your opinion? And I'd like to get Campbell's input as a businessman of how this framework is actually, in my estimation, I think it's misrepresenting what's really going on in collegiate athletics. But you go ahead and answer first, Coach. Do you think it's overburdening football to support the entire athletic department?
Well, I just know this. The school fronted my football program $400,000 to get it going. Scholarships, salaries, travel. And so my whole thought was, or when I play a money game, I think I played Rutgers gave me $405,000. We played Connecticut, they gave us another 300 some thousand. I'm thinking, why can't we ever take that money back and put it away for the next year? And then the next year, after 4 or 5 years, you should have over $1 million put away to start your football program over. So now any monies that the football program make, the basketball program make, goes to the other sports. But there's always that startup money where we ain't got to buy or borrow from the school that can go to non-revenue sports. I don't know why they do it that way. I've talked to other athletic directors about that. And some reason that's what they do. They front that football program money out the door, because I know one thing, as a state school, you got to have a zero balance at the end of the year.
Well, here's what they may front you the money, Coach, but it's only a paperwork shuffle, because yes. It's only a paperwork shuffle. They front you the money, but your overall revenue that's generated through football, they front you $400,000, and that pays for your travel, throughout the season or whatever, your helmets, whatever, shoulder pads, whatever. And then you get one big check for $400, and then another big check for $300, and you ain't even sold no tickets or took in any donations on behalf of football. So there's still some more revenue to be created.
Right.
I'll just ask Campbell, somebody who's been involved in fundraising and been able to maybe see how the sausage is made, do you think football is overburdened with the responsibility of supporting collegiate athletics?
Well, here's the problem, and this is never going to change. These are universities. This is not the NFL. It's not a pro league. And those universities, first and foremost, to educate. And that includes men and women. So that's part of, as they say, that's what you sign up for. So while people sit back and say, hey, this is not fair, but again, the college first and foremost is to educate both men and women. So I understand the part what you're saying from a sports standpoint, but again, colleges just don't operate like businesses, and they just can't. And thank God for, honestly, on some of that they don't. Because again, you know, I saw somebody, and this was mentioned in another show, that said, hey, some of these schools need to drop down to D2. And I said, no, they can't do that. I said, do you know how many black people get educated because they got a scholarship playing football and basketball? So the mission statement still, I know Ohio State is football factories and Alabama football factories, but still, unfortunately, they still are university and the education is formal. So I think you're never going to solve that problem where you're going to be. And like, but also, Rocky, let's be clear too, because they are not businesses. Ohio State is not broke as a university. You see what I'm saying? That I don't think people really understand that money. That I just looked it up. Ohio State made, and I know what I'm talking about. This ain't no money. Total revenue of athletics, $251 million. Do you know what their endowment is? Do you know they have people that give them $300-400 million just to the school? So athletics is such a small part of the overall functionality of a university. To be honest with you, you got people that donate to the library $400-500 million. So we as people that love sports, I think we really overemphasize the amount when you look at the overall budgets of these universities.
Well, me and you may have to come on and have that debate one-on-one, because ain't nobody turning. There's a reason why they signed a $1.something billion media rights deal. They not turning no money down.
I'm not. You don't. It's not turning money down. But I'm trying to tell you, they are getting R1 status money. Where they're getting over $500-600 million in academic research money.
Well, that's what one thing I wanted to do was get Paul, my homeboy from Alabama AM, AD, and the guy from Prairie View, to come on and, you know, talk about that. You know, the fans need to know about that and why it's so important to donate money to the university, to the school.
Now, Coach, I know you in a tight crunch, so we gonna get through these scores from last week and talk a little bit about next week, Coach. One theme of this week you're gonna see is the blacks couldn't beat the whites this week. So we're just gonna go through this. Jackson State wasn't able to beat Mississippi, Southern Miss. Mississippi Valley got drove by Tarleton State. And what I consider an upset, Rio Grande Valley beat Prairie View at home.
Can I say, Coach, too? Hey, man, I'm sorry to the people that's watching. I said that would be an easy game for Prairie View. I got my UT Rio Grande and UT Basin and some of these small schools. I didn't do my homework. This school is actually a Division 1A school that plays in the South.
They just jumped. No, Coach, this was supposed to be. No, Coach, you were right. This school did not have a football team. Yeah. Okay, they didn't have a football team, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about this. So no, you were right, and I'm sorry, but like I say, Coach Jackson did a great. If anybody watched the conference call, he took full. Prairie View should have won this game, point blank. Period. Now I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
So, yeah, they spotted them 17, but like you say, you know, and this school just started this program in Division 1 this year. Yeah. Yeah.
But they had a quarterback that had, if you look at his pedigree, he was a real player. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I want to say he was a 5th-year senior. He's a real player.
Okay.
He came from somewhere. But anyway, in the whites beating the blacks, furthermore, we had Grambling took 70 from Ohio State. We had Bethune-Cookman play the University of Miami and take 45. We had your Texas Southern Tigers traveled out to California, Berkeley, and got beat 35-3. And Florida A&M, your Rattlers, went down to Miami and took it on the chin, 56-14. But these last three, these two games right here, and we'll just mention that Arkansas Pine Bluff took a butt whipping from Central Arkansas. And Central Arkansas is a FCS school, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they in the same division. So with these two games right here, now I must admit, I did not watch the Alcorn Alabama A&M game. Didn't watch one down of it, but I did see where Cornelius Brown, or Quad, as he's affectionately known, he put on a clinic as a quarterback. And for Alabama A&M was 25 of 35 for 260 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also ran 7 times for 69 yards, and ran 2 of them in the paint. So, Coach, does it get any better than that, Coach, from a quarterback perspective?
Man, that's what you want to have, efficiency, man. You want that quarterback to be able to extend them plays, and when the protection breaks down, to make sure he can go get you a first down. I mean, that's big. You know, when you can get out of that pocket and get up the field and keep that chains moving.
Now, as a Mississippi guy, I'll let you talk about Alcorn and what you thought about their performance. Campbell?
Well, let me say that I actually watched the game, so let's roll that back. So
okay.
I actually watched this game, and one of the things I want to say, hey, Alabama A&M, the crowd was electric. They were excited. And first of all, let's say, hey, shout out to a friend of the show, Sam Shea, getting his first victory. You know, that I think that is huge, and I think you could already see what he's building. Again, I know the offense is like a little bit ahead of the defense, but one of the things that I think that, and Coach Cedric Thomas, I think one of the things that, and he talked about this on his show, while I think he's gotten players, I think they're just not executing. And I think that has hurt Alcorn these last 2 games. There are plays that Alcorn has had where they closed the gap because Alabama State was up a little bit, and then Alcorn came back, closed the gap. Looks like they were going to tighten the game up, and then I think Alabama A&M scored that last touchdown to really push them out and everything. But one of the things that I just want to say, looking at this going forward, Alabama A&M is going to be a dangerous team this year. They are going to be very dangerous. And like I said, Quad Brown, like I said, I think was SWAC player of a week this year, this week for offense. Hey, man, I think it's going to be big things that's going to happen. So, again, if Coach Sam Shea can get that defense tightened down, it is going to be very interesting up there in Huntsville.
Yeah. I know,
you know, the Magic City Classic is shaping up as a real quarterback duel if both of those guys can stay healthy. You want to say anything else, Coach, about that matchup?
No,
before we move on?
I mean, it doesn't surprise us with Sam Shade. I know Coach Thomas is trying to put his team together. You know, two good teams, man.
Yeah. And in the game I watched pretty much, even from Mexico. I found an old pirated streamer who was streaming this game because I didn't realize that ESPN Plus doesn't work in Mexico. So I'm going to have to talk to ESPN Plus about that. I should be able to get it in Mexico. But anyway, I watched every down of this, man. I thought this was a sensational game by Andrew Body, though I'll put it like this. He wasn't precise as he was against Alabama UAB, but he was still very effective, and he definitely took what the defense gave him, and to the point to where he was 16 of 25 for 196. One of the things about this game that I saw is they weren't going to let Andrew run the football. You know what I mean? They pretty much, didn't they rush 5 guys most of the time against Andrew, and they just pretty much stood at the line of scrimmage and tried to wall him off where he couldn't run or scramble? It was a very interesting defense that they were running against Andrew. But I will say this, Andrew was not able to take advantage down the field the way he was against UAB, and Southern really played them tough for a half, and then those opportunities that they missed in the first half, Andrew was able to capitalize in them. on them.
Really, what can we say about Southern? They are what we thought they were.
Yes.
Same team, different actions. You know what I mean? Play tough. You know what I'm saying? It's just that they're not letting them come back in the second half.
This was I thought one of those games like last year when they played FAMU, when they played Jackson State, and when they played anybody who was considered to be a good team. It almost like they have in the past 2 years they hadn't showed up. Now, I don't know if you know the latest development, Coach, about what's happening on the Bluff. The OC has been
Campbell.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
What is he over there doing, Coach? Smoking cigars?
Can you hear me?
Because we can hear Rocky perfectly. I don't know if you can't hear him. We can hear him. He was about to ask you a question.
I can hear him now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Coach, I was going to ask you, do you know the latest update of what's happening over in the Bluff, over there in Baton Rouge? Mark Frederick, the OC, has been, I don't know if you call it demoted as play caller, but Fred McNair has been given the title as co-offensive coordinator and will be calling the plays for the rest of the season. What do you think about that development, Coach, on the Bluff?
I just don't think it's a winning formula. You still got the same players. I don't like it. I don't like how it tastes, how it is. But it is what it is, and you just got to go with it. I've never been in a situation like that, whether I was on the staff or whether I was a coordinator or not.
So you've never switched to defensive play calling? I know you've always been an offensive play caller, so I know you wouldn't fire yourself. But what about the defensive play caller?
Not at all. I would take the responsibility as a head coach and actually sit down on what they're doing. I think personally they need to go with a 2-back set, 3 wide receivers, and give the ball to that tailback from LSU, and have that other quarterback with some bootleg stuff and just keep the game sound and solid instead of running the spread and you ain't got spread people.
Now Campbell, I'd like to get your input on this because you had your opinions about Southern coming into this season that were met with a considerable backlash. Has anything happened in the 3 games that they've played to change your opinion about what you thought coming into the season?
Absolutely not, because I knew what the issue was going to be, which was they were going to have a problem at the quarterback, which they still do. They had 4 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and they just have not been able to win these games. And like Coach said, I think the offensive system that they're trying to run with the player they got doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. And unfortunately for them, and this is the thing about, again, see, let me tell you something, and I'm going to say this because there are a couple of teams that are in the danger zone. FAMU, Southern, and Alcorn. Every one of these next couple of games are big games for these coaches for a plethora of reasons. So there's no need to hide in that. Like I said, we don't have to hide what is reality. So for Southern, again, they're going to lose to Fresno State. They've all lost to Alabama State, and they got to play Jackson State. That's 1-4. That's 1-4. So again, they've got Coach McNair that's going to try to switch it up. Again, they've demoted the other guy, Coach Fred.
Mark Frederick.
They've demoted him. So again, I think sometimes you just got to do that. That's part of the things you got to switch it up, because as they're practicing every day, they're saying, hey, we should be better. That's what Coach Gray said. We got talent. I'm not going to argue with them on that. I mean, I believe they do have talent, but I believe it doesn't fit what they're trying to do. So I think it's a very dangerous thing. And again, what I really like, and let's talk about Alabama State. Again, lost 10 starters on defense. One guy, number 3, that came back, SWAC preseason all-conference. That defense came to play. That defense came to play, and you saw what only 7 points being put on the board. And the thing about it with Andrew, like you said, some of those throws, and I think one of the things that I know that work with Andrew, if he can get more accurate, that offense is going to explode. And that's the thing about it. But what you also saw, Rocky, is they ran for 170 plus yards, and Andrew didn't have to carry the leg work up there. And honestly, I think that's what they want. They don't want him to be running for 100 unless it's necessary to win the game. I think this type of game, if you told Coach E-Rob, I'm going to get 30 and Andrew will run for 60 yards, he'll take it every time.
You know what was interesting about this game to me is that Andrew had what I would consider a good game, and Southern was still able to. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It wasn't even competitive. I think in these 3 games, you know, Mississippi Valley ain't showing up again until they take a trip to Bethune-Cookman. And I'll ask you this, Coach, and then we'll move on to next week. Will Bethune-Cookman be able to put up enough fight to potentially threaten a loss in that game, potentially leaving Southern 1-5?
Well, you know, you'll see where the level is Southern's at. Maybe they are at a Bethune-Cookman level. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's going to be a good game. I don't think Southern going to walk in and just beat the heck out of Bethune-Cookman. We'll see. They should, but I don't think so.
But what they'll tell you, they got everything in front of them. They haven't lost the conference game yet. So that's what Southern's going to say.
Yeah, well.
Which I love Coach Jackson's answer to that when, you know, Wayne Cartwright asked him about that. And he said, hey, that's not our standard. We choose. If there are games we're supposed to win, we're supposed to win. And I like that.
Right.
Yeah, can you guys hear me? I had a
yeah.
I just think overall that Southern and Terrence Graves is in big trouble, and I think he's coaching for his head coaching life right now, and that's why I think he leaned on a championship coach to help him turn the season around, like Fred McNair. And whether it works or not, I have no idea, but I think in some way I kind of agree with his decision to do something to shake up this season, because the way it's going, Coach, he's going to be in the unemployment line next year if it continues on the path it's on.
You know, I just look at it different. You know, the power play is the power play. I mean, whose offense is it? Is it Mark Frederick's offense? Is it Coach the head coach, Coach Gray's offense, or is it Fred McNair's offense? How well does Fred McNair know it? What about the terminology? Because remember now, Fred came into Southern. He ain't been there, you know. And I know for a fact that if I went in somewhere, I would want to, terminology-wise, to know to either give a chance of learning the terminology or use it, depends on when I come in there, to either put my terminology in or not. I mean, when you get in clutch situations and you've been doing things one way for a long time, then it changes. You know, so, you know, we'll see. You know, at the end of the day, we'll see. I don't like wholesale changes. I don't. You know, I'm a system guy. You know,
well, Coach, Southern has struggled for the better part of a year and 3 games on offense, Coach.
Yeah,
I don't blame Terrence Graves for trying to change it up.
Well, I'm not blaming him either, because at the end of the day, it's his team. I'm just saying, you know, hey, look, I don't want to be on Graves now. Don't point me on Graves. You know, I always speak from, you know, my point of view, but I get it. I just don't agree with that move.
All right, Coach. We gonna move on to next week, Coach, in the SWAC.
Wait a minute. Before we do that, we gotta acknowledge this. Shout out to Sean Jackson, because Coach, we all called it that we.
Oh yeah.
They won that game, and I'm gonna tell you something again. Scotty said him is over on her, but I've always said what I saw about that young man and the level of his press conference. And I think we have to understand how intelligent Deshaun Jackson is. And I'm saying they're building something over there at Delaware State. And that is a very big victory. If you look at the teams with Alcorn losing to Northwestern, bad loss. Prairie View losing to Rio Grande Valley, bad loss. And then for his team to beat Albany, I think that needs to be pointed out. And I think they're going to be very dangerous. So I just want to point that out before we move on.
Hey, since we went over there, let's go ahead and deal with we know Howard. But I'm really disappointed about this outing that North Carolina Central had. I haven't even looked at the box score, but I can tell by the score Walker Harris didn't play very well. Let me just take a look at the box score and see what happened.
And this portion of the show is Rocky Miller's Walker Harris hate section. Here we go.
Again, I hadn't even looked at the box score. I had no idea. But he was 12 of 26 for 101 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Now, I never coached in the SWAC at all or nothing like that, Coach. But from my novice examination of these statistics, that ain't good, Coach. Well, 13 of 26 for 101 yards and 2 interceptions.
That's not. Oh no, those numbers are not good at all. I'm gonna have to talk to Trey Oliver off the camera. Sometimes you're too loyal to a fault. Now I'm getting word that they got a backup quarterback that can really, really make things happen. You know what I mean? And I think he's loyal to this Harris kid. The kid is a North Carolina Central guy. He grew up in the program.
And, Coach, we got to mention these last 2 games since we over here. Virginia State, hey, Coach, you warned us about this was going to be a game. And if it wasn't for Otto, the Magic Man, pulling this one out, this is literally, Coach, remember we all grew up watching the wild world of sports. And Otto literally pulled out this victory out of the jaws of defeat. Because they were losing this game by multiple scores, and they put in the backup quarterback Otto, and he was 13 of 20 for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he pulled that defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Yeah, what was it? 20? What is it? 16-0 at halftime.
It was 16-7, and then it was 9 to 23 at one point.
Oh wow.
And mind you, Virginia State had the game won with the last second kick, and they hit the crossbar. So that was how close this game was for Virginia State to win it. And one of the things that's going to be interesting, and I'm going to tell you something. When you're looking at Norfolk, here's the positive. They had 20,000 people in that barn. They're going to get people into those games, which is awesome. But one of the things I still don't see, and again, I know that's a work in progress, and I think we're always looking for too much for these coaches. But once again, I think defense is still a problem with Norfolk State. And even with the offense, I think defense is where their real issue is at.
Coach, but let me ask you this here, Coach. How do you run for 237 yards and trail most of the game?
Well, you got to be making those 3rd down conversions. Number one.
Let me see what we got here, Coach. I'm going to go to team stats.
Let's look at the turnover ratio.
Coach, you know where to look. Again, last week we knew they were 3 for 15 on 3rd down conversions. This week they were 4 for 13.
That's not good. That's not good. That's not good offense. You want to be 40% on 3rd down conversions. At least.
And as you stated, Coach, they had 2 turnovers as well.
That'll kill you every time.
So in the grand scheme of things, the game was played close. But and they let another quarterback carve him up real good too, Coach. He was 21 for 42 for 299. He gave up plenty.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think Vic got some work to do, but congratulations to one of my all-time favorite NFL players, Coach Mike Vick, man, for getting his first victory at Norfolk State. Next, I want him to get a Division I victory. And then this game was very. This next game we're going to talk about, the Townsend traveling to Morgan State. Some people tell me this is really two teams in the same city playing one another.
Yeah.
But
crosstown rivalry.
But Morgan State put up a much better fight than Norfolk did last week.
Well, they actually played to Morgan State's strength. You know, Morgan State is a great defensive program.
Mm-hmm.
And Townsend State like to pound. So, I know the game didn't last long because Townsend like to run it. And, Morgan State plays pretty good defense.
Well, looking at Townsend's stats, they tried to run it. They weren't able to. And statistically, it looks like Morgan State, again, won the game. Statistically, they threw for 200, ran for 200. Whereas Townsend threw for 186, ran for 63. So let's go look at the team stats. Let's figure this one out, Coach.
Turnovers, baby, turnovers.
Let me see. You got it, Coach. You know what it is. Every time, turnovers. You can decipher this one. Morgan State had 3.
Look at time
Townsend had 1.
Look at time of possession. As you say, Morgan State, they beat themselves. They had the ball over 10 minutes longer than Townsend.
Well, what that lets me know is, on paper, Morgan may be a pretty good team. Certainly probably better than Norfolk State. They should, in a matchup, I know the property of transference doesn't always work out. But early in the season, I would say that, wouldn't you say, Campbell, that Morgan played Townsend much better than Norfolk State did?
I actually watched a lot of this guy. I had 5 screens up because I wanted to make sure. Yeah, I watched pretty much 90% of all these games. And me and Mike will tell you, the thing about it is, it was just some of the times when if Morgan had to execute it on offense, Coach, as you saw, this game was to be won for Morgan. And one of the things now, what you're looking at all the teams, other than South Carolina State, which I know we glossed over that, but I want guys to know South Carolina State outplayed the University of South Carolina. Scoring on special teams won that game. But I think total offense and defensive, they outplayed South Carolina State. So I'm telling you, that MEAC race is going to be, this is not going to be a 2-team race this year. I think this thing is going to be wide open.
All right. We can go ahead and look at the MEAC next week and then move on, finish up with the SWAC. All right. MEAC next week. Let's see what the MEAC is going to do next week. All right, we got some interesting matchups. We got Morgan's Morehouse and Howard. That's the battle. They having that game at the library, ain't they, guys?
That's the money game, and it ain't got nothing to do with football right there, boy. It's the money game right there. Nobody will be at the game, but the parties and the happy hours will be off the
hey, it won't be no gumbo and dirty rice on that one. It's going to be great poupon.
That's caviar and cocktails right there.
Oh, okay. All right. So they're going to have plenty. It's going to be plenty Grey Poupon and caviar and champagne.
Absolutely.
In the tailgate. Okay, what about this one? Tell me about this one, Coach. Bowie State and Delaware State.
Well, Bowie, I know the head coach there, man. He's a defensive guru. And that's a Division II program versus another one. But, man, the way Delaware State playing and the way he got his schedule, I'm going to give this game to Delaware State.
Are you picking D-Jack?
Yeah, I'm picking Deshaun Jackson on this one.
All right, Coach. I don't know if we had to pick this next one. Campbell, I know you going with D-Jack. I don't even have to. All right, this next one we ain't got to pick. So we all agree Mike Vick is not going to shock the world for his first Division I victory against Rutgers, huh?
No, sir.
Toledo and Morgan State.
Hey, I want to talk about this real quick. And Miak might correct me if I'm wrong. Was this not the game that you guys should have upset Toledo maybe 2 years ago? Correct me and let me know in the chat, because I think I remember them playing Toledo and they should have beat them. I don't think they'll beat them.
I want to say they dropped a punt or something like that to lose the game.
Well, let me tell y'all something.
There'll be no fear in this game at all.
I played Toledo at the University of Cincinnati. Great program. The great Nick Saban coached there and worked there as well.
All right, Coach. You picking Morgan State or you picking Toledo?
Oh, man, come on. Toledo. My nephew is the running back coach.
Oh, okay. Got you. Hey, let me ask you about this one, Coach. This is Bethune-Cookman in South Carolina State. We know Chennis Berry very well on this show. He took a good thumping from South Carolina last week. Will he bounce back and get a victory this week?
Let me give you guys a shout out. I want to give you guys a shout out, Nate, to Coach Moses Hopper at Lincoln, Missouri. He's 2-0. The last time Lincoln, Missouri been 2-0, I want our fans to put down what year the last time Lincoln of Missouri was 2-0. What year? And I'm going to tell you what year it is.
I'm going to say 1970, the year I was born.
1970? Okay. See if our audience can show it, and I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
Keep going, Coach.
All right. Next is Fayetteville State versus North Carolina Central. This is I forget the little road in between Durham and Fayetteville, but I've been on it several times, being that I used to be a resident in Fayette-Nunn. And so I know this is probably a 40 minute trip. Well, no, it's probably more of an hour trip in between those two schools. But I'm going to take North Carolina Central
back on track. You know, one thing about Trey Oliver, he don't run away from nobody. You know what I mean? He played the best, and he put his team up against anybody. So I really can say that.
Hey, let me ask you this here, Coach. Is this a game where you see what you have in your backup quarterback, you let him get some run, or do you get Walker Harris settled in and solidified as a starter against a Division II opponent?
I think you do both. I think you get Harris back on track in the first half. Hopefully he's moving the offense like he's supposed to. And then in the back of your mind, you're saying, I'm getting number 2 ready.
All right. Campbell, you got anything to add on this MEAC lineup?
I just want to say my family is from Fayetteville. I have a lot of family that's alumni. And Fayetteville, can you believe, has 7,500 students? And I'm telling you, I talked to some of the people in the chat, that are MEAC Central, and I said, that should be a target. I know they don't want to pay the money, but if I was in the MEAC, I'd figure out a way to weigh that fee and see with them building that, because, hey, they're on target to have 9,000 students in the next 5 years. That's what my uncle told me. It's a big alumni. So that is amazing. They're bigger than most of the schools in the MEAC right now.
Wow.
So I think that's an opportunity for them just to bring, but they won't be North Carolina Central.
Okay. All right. Here we go, guys. We got 2 schools, one in Alabama, one in Mississippi, Tuskegee and Jackson State. I want to ask you guys, if they were having a spelling bee, who would win?
Well, Tuskegee is a black ivy. So, they're 2 different mission statements, 2 different schools, 2 different missions. Tuskegee is a private school, Jackson State's a public school. So I won't put it out there. But what I will tell you it won't be having to do nothing to spelling. They'll be able to spell touchdown, because that's what Jackson State's going to do a lot of against Tuskegee. So they won't have to worry about winning the spelling bee. They'll win that scoreboard.
Hey, now I'm gonna tell you like this here. This next game between Prairie View and Rice, because I know I have a student. My daughter attends Prairie View. I think it'll be closer in a spelling bee than it will be in this football game.
Oh, really? You think Rice gonna run away with it?
Coach, I think anytime, Coach, and this ain't got nothing to do with Tremaine Jackson. This ain't got nothing to do with you guys. Historically, when these matchups happen, we know what happens.
The whites and the blacks.
We know what happens, Coach.
What you giving Rice? 2, 3, 4 touchdowns?
28.
That's all you giving them?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good for Rice.
Hey, listen, listen, if you look at
28 in whatever previous score.
Yeah, well, like I'm talking about something like 42 to 14 is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Now this one may be the game of the week right here. Yeah. This may be the game of the week. This is Alabama A&M against Tennessee State. Even though Tennessee State beat A&T, I'm not sure what they have. And I think we kind of know what Alabama A&M is, don't we, guys?
Oh, yeah. Very well coached football team. Gonna pound that ball, but they do got a quarterback that can get it done over top.
Coach, both of these guys are friends of the show. Matter of fact, I think they appeared on the same day or one day behind each other, Coach. Both of them seem to be really competent coaches, have proven themselves on multiple levels, both of them. A lot of similarities here, Coach, with these two guys leading the program. I'm going to have to take Alabama A&M, Coach.
Wow. Good choice.
I'm going to have to do the same. I think that Coach Barlow, I think he just got in there late. He just haven't got all his guys in. I give him credit for getting that win against North Carolina A&T, but I think Alabama A&M, they've got the better quarterback. They've got the better offense. They shouldn't have a problem winning this game.
And this is a classic of some sort, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, I think it's the jump. No classic.
It's
classic last week.
Okay. All right, but this is a good matchup. And if you're anywhere near Nashville, if I was anywhere near Nashville, I would be pulling in and checking that one out. We don't have to talk about this one. This is a struggling Alcorn State team traveling to Mississippi State. They're going to continue to struggle. Miles and Alabama State, I don't suspect them to make any noise against Alabama State.
Well, Miles beat them last year. So it's the big payback.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, Coach. 2
years ago.
Was that two? Okay.
2 years ago. They've already had their payback, so they've already done that. And the coach ain't there, so it doesn't even matter. Not the same.
Yeah, Sam ain't there.
Sam ain't there.
So we got we talked about this game. I think Tennis Berry's gonna bring this one home. It must be homecoming at Arkansas Pine Bluff, because Lincoln, California is there.
California is there.
Yeah.
Grambling won away, smashed Kentucky State.
Now, this is interesting here. Now, again, I fully expect I fully expect Southeast Louisiana to win the game. But I also see this as another opportunity for Mississippi Valley to show what they got, right?
No,
what do you guys expect?
No, Coach. It's going to be a runaway.
I think, let me tell you something. Watch Valley play against Tarleton. That was another one of the game. Again, thank for Coach Buckley to come on the show. Again, you're talking about a first-year coach. Hey, Coach Robinson, Coach Doug Williams talked about bringing in a lot of guys, trying to get them used to it. It's the same thing here with Valley. Again, I think they're going to play hard, but Southeast Louisiana is going to win this game.
Okay. So then we got Lamar and Texas Southern. Lamar is ranked in the FCS. I saw that earlier today. Didn't you send me that, Campbell?
I did.
Now that is a good game. That's going to be a good game.
And that's
they actually beat South Dakota, who was ranked.
Let's look at them. Let's see who they beat, Coach. We don't have to guess about this. They beat South Dakota. They sure did.
Yeah. And South Dakota was like in the top 10.
Let me see. I know a kid that plays on that team down there in let me see. Let me look at the box score, see if that kid's playing quarterback. Nah, that's not the kid playing quarterback. But that's the kid from Waco right there, Major Bowden.
South Dakota?
No, for Lamar.
Oh, okay.
He played. He was a running back here.
This is one of those games, once again, that we've talked about. Like I say, Coach Dismishoni's got talent on the team, but once again, the question is again about the coaching and finishing the task. Can he keep the game close And then when the game is close, can they close it out? That's would have been their problem at Texas Southern. So I think it's going to be a close game, but unfortunately, I think Lamar's going to pull that out.
This is a situation where, Coach, how many of these games did you go into with a school like, say, Lamar, Sam Houston, back in your day, Southwest Texas State, or even Stephen F. Austin, where the talent was equal between those schools? Were you ever equal in talent with those schools?
I wasn't playing them schools, and I fought my president to a fight about playing Southwest Texas State, and they were moving to Texas State Division 1A, and they called us, and I fought my president. And he finally put his foot down and said, "No, that's where we're gonna play them," because he knew the president of the other school. They wanted us to come because what? We gonna bring the crowd, we gonna bring the band. I didn't play those schools, Coach, because I recruited against them, and I know I wasn't there yet. In my second and third year, I wasn't there yet. And that's why I never played Sam Houston and Stephen F. and Connie Word. I wasn't playing them because we recruit the same kids.
Coach, looked like they played this game in a phone booth. The quarterback, one quarterback threw for 108, the other one threw for 65. One team ran for 135, the other team ran for 139.
Or it was a lot of great defense.
Yeah, they played that. Hey, one guy threw 16 times and threw 2 interceptions. Coach, do he get to throw the ball this next week?
Woo!
Yeah, so I think somebody said Lamar is not good. They may be on to something. They just might have coached South Dakota down this year. Maybe the NIL is caught up with them because I don't think they opted in over there on that side of the fence. But anyway, I think, again, does Texas Southern have a chance? I think they do. But I fully expect Lamar to pull it out.
There you go.
And then we got Southern and Fresno State. And then we caught, again, FAMU is hosting Albany State, which I'm going to tell you this, they may have the most exciting player in HBCU football, Mr. Knowles.
Albany State?
Yeah.
Running back or quarterback?
Quarterback.
Okay.
So what do you think about that game, Campbell? Are you going to be in attendance?
No, that's one of the games I'm not going to be. I'm going to be at every other home game, but this one. Listen, I'm going to say this again. There's no need of hiding it. Coach Cole's got to win this game, point blank, period. It's just a fact. Yeah, it's no shade to him. And first of all, it's Florida A&M. They shouldn't lose to Albany State. But I will say it on the flip side, you got Quinn Gray. Hey, he's coming down there for a job interview. And they are very excited. They're going to bring a lot of people down there. And like I say, Florida A&M does not play game. They better put this game away and move on to the next game.
So you saying Quinn Gray could literally win this game and take and snatch Cozy's whistle right from under his neck?
Well, you got to understand something. What's going to happen is, if you're Coach Cozy, you don't even want that to be said, because if he comes down there and wins, then of course you're going to have to come back the next week and explain why you lost to Albany State. After you lost to Howard, and after you lost, that means there's been no progress over 3 weeks. And Coach, they say from week 1 to week 2, you're supposed to get better. Well, I hope after week 3 you got even better. So Florida A&M is real. Like I say, listen, the thing about it is, and I think this is what's confusing everybody. I've seen bad Florida A&M teams as far as talent-wise. You see the talent on defense. The defensive talent's there. It's just not executing on offense. Wide receivers not catching the ball. The offensive line is not blocking. That is not the key to success. You're talking about a team that's got a quarterback that can throw the ball. Is this going to be a situation like an Andrew Body against a UAB, where all of a sudden score gets up and starts moving? So, again, I think Coach Cozy understands what's at stake. I think the Rattlers understand. I think they're going to have pride, and they're going to go ahead and beat Albany State.
Coach,
what you got?
Coach Cozy is looking for his first win this season. He has a D2 opponent coming into town, a hot D2 opponent. What can happen here, Coach? Can his fan base turn against it if he loses this game right here?
Oh, no, without a doubt. Florida A&M is definitely. I mean, it was always a issue when he got the job, how he got the job, and if he could keep the job. In that first year, losing Mississippi Valley, is the old "What have you done for me lately?" Even though he had a winning season, he can't drop this to a Division II program. He just can't, and he can't drop it with a low score. He's got to start putting numbers up, and right now he's not doing a good job of that.
So you saying, Coach, not only does he have to win, he has to win with style.
Yes, without a doubt. You got to win Florida A&M way.
Do you agree with that, Coach?
No, I think so, because, again, you got to understand, after you roll in this, and like I say, I think after this game, I got to look and see who we play. But I know at the end of the month we play, because I'll be at that game, we play Alabama State. So you want to get this thing going before you play that game, because that's going to be a hard-fought game no matter what. Because, like I say, just how we played Alabama State. So now I think they need to go in there, get their offense rolling, get those wide receivers going, get this game over with, get those guys feeling good. Because, like I say, you just don't – it's too much chatter right now in Tallahassee with too many things. And one thing I think for Coach Colsey, he's not good on the defensive. You know what I mean? When he's got to kind of explain the things like that, he's much better when he's on the confidence side of it. So I want Coach to have that confidence and instill it into those players.
I agree with you, Coach. A lot of us, when the lights get cut off at home, I ain't confident either when my wife come and ask me why we ain't got no lights, Coach. What's a good answer, Coach?
Oh, man, you caught me off guard there, Coach.
No, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? That's the kind of situation Cozy's in. He's in a situation where the expectation is that we always have lights, that we always have running water, that we always have what we need. And he ain't got it.
Look, he's got to win, baby, win. And this one, he got to win big.
He got to come through, huh, Coach? But no, not. And I was just saying to Campbell, like, a lot of us ain't real good, ain't real confident when things are going bad, man. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of us are sketchy in those same situations. But we got to, hear my man Swag fans say, it ain't no good answer. You're right. You're right. You guys are right. Divorce. All these things are good, Coach. He just needs to come through with it. Hey, I just got to get that light bill money. That's all. That's the only answer. That's acceptable. Ain't that right, Keisha? All right.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Rocky, and like I say, you and your wife are married. Well, one thing about Florida A&M, we ain't married to nobody. We got champagne face. So I'm just trying to tell you, we are nothing but dating. And it's always been like that with every coach. They understand that. That's what it is. So like I say,
as a coach, you should expect that.
Exactly.
If I'm coming in playing Albany State, I ain't been doing well. I got to get on them. Shit, we coming out with trick plays out your ass. We going to side kick it, off kick it. We going to fake the punt. We going to put some razzle-dazzle. We gonna make it where everybody's sitting at the edge of their seats.
So let me ask Campbell this, because Campbell, you our FAMU guy, and then we'll get out of here. He's only lost one game that he should have won, and that was the Howard game. Was the Howard loss that bad?
Well, you got to understand something. The problem with the Howard loss, it stems back to last year. You didn't see any progress because the whole thing was we got a new offensive coordinator, we've got a quarterback, the offense is going to be better. The offense hasn't been better. So that makes you worried, because that's why we lost last year. We lost Mulberry, but we couldn't score over 21 points last year. We're not even doing that this year. So that's the thing about it, where it's the big concern with everybody is that, because again, and another thing too, this is what's so dangerous about our schedule and what's so great about it. All the big dogs come to Tallahassee. We literally could win the SWAC by winning all our home games, but we lose all our home games. Could be one of the worst seasons ever for FAMU. So that's the thing. It's no in between on this, and that's no problem. This, like Coach said, you get paid to win these games. So I don't want to hear people, oh, you talk. No, you get paid. That's no different than Jackson State, Southern, Grambling, every coach, Trey Oliver, all that. Every coach is paid to win championships. Point blank period. So I believe in our coach. Our coach knows what he's got to do. FAMU has a standard. Be the standard.
Hey, Coach, We 2 hours 22 minutes in. We've had a great show tonight. We had Doug Williams on, man. This is a great show. I want to thank everybody who stayed with us the entire show, both on the Off Script channel and on our channel. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. Also, I'd like you to like and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Please like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate it. Hey, guys, that's all I have, and y'all can have it from here on out.
Well, one of the things, again, that shout out to Coach Moses Harper at Lincoln, University of Lincoln in Missouri. They're 2-0. And the last time they've been 2-0 was back in 1972. He's an understudy of mine. He's an up-and-coming young coach. He's getting it done. I'm looking for great things, and hopefully he have a great season in turning that school around for over 40-plus years of losing. Moses Harper, Lincoln, Missouri. All right, Coach. Man, you got something, Coach, that I'm going to bring to the close?
Yeah, I got one thing just real quick, and I just want to point out. So I'm going to say this to all my HBCU coaches that watch the show. I have had several of your alums that are high school coaches. And what we really need to do, they're saying, hey, Coach, can you let these coaches know that they're not contacting us about the players that we have or players we're playing against? So I'm saying, hey, to every school, we need to have a alumni association just for the high school football coaches. And you all need to network with these guys. You need to bring them in. You need to have clinics, because we should not, and I'm just saying, if we should not be losing to the Northwestern states of the world. We should not. That we should not. And they're taking players that we should be getting. I had one coach say that guy that played over that school wanted to come to X school, but nobody called him. So I think we really got to do a better job of using our net. We have a tremendous network in all the state of Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, where we've got people that want to send their players to our school. So, Coach, I'm just saying, so to all the coaches, get your alumni together that are football coaches, have a conference call at least once a month, find out who the players are in your area, and let's get them to our schools.
Yeah. Well, that's very important, man, about keeping that net of networking together and making sure that we honor and respect our alums that have came through the school, knowing the situation that you have. I think that's very important that you keep that pipeline going, But, we had a great legendary guy, Doug Williams, on the show. For some reason, we don't connect with our legendary guys. It's been plenty. Doug is not the only one. He's just one of many. But one thing about him, anytime it's HBCU, man, he dropped what he's doing and he shows his support. 2 million followers. I can't say enough about thanking the people that follow this show. Continue with your grace and your mercy and your kindness of following us. God has blessed me with this opportunity that hopefully I can send out the same blessings and make sure that we're doing what we're doing to keep this network going about HBCU sports. Again, like I always say, if you feel yourself at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on tight, because ain't nobody bad like
you. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.